Welcome everybody to today's video. We're going to talk about breastfeeding and the single mom. So we're going to just talk about a few tips that might help breastfeeding be a little bit easier, just to kind of get you through, because we know breastfeeding is work, and we also know that single moms work a lot and they work hard, and time is not something you have a lot of, and stress you tend to have a lot of. So I thought that it would be a good video to kind of just discuss a few things that can help make breastfeeding a little bit easier and kind of help you get prepared. If you have older children, there's a few things that I'm going to mention that can help with that. If you don't have older children, if you're pregnant and you know that you are going to be single, if you are single already, whatever the case, we'll talk a little bit about how you can mentally prepare and how you can get yourself prepared for breastfeeding. It's not a lot of information, but I will put in the description just some links of articles, and I think I saw a support group online. That's something that you can definitely check out. And then there's always the La Leche League, and that's an international community. And so no matter where you are in the world, you should be able to find La Leche League members. So I will put that information in the description as well, just so that you have that to refer to. So no matter where you are in the world, you should be able to find something, and if you can't find anything in your community, then you can also go on social media and check out, there. So the first thing I just kind of want to do is mention what it would be like if you're having a few tips if you have children, older children. And we'll probably repeat this a little bit as we're going through some of the other tips, but I kind of wanted to mention these three things at the start and then go through the rest of what I have here. So number one, if you can keep the children in one room when you're breastfeeding, have a pile of toys, movies, games, anything that can keep the kids occupied while you're breastfeeding, and you can be in one room while you're breastfeeding. Then you're not worried about what the kids are getting into, what they're doing. You have them all in the same room with you. Sometimes you can put on a movie, you can put on YouTube, you can do things to keep them occupied while you're breastfeeding. That can kind of help you a little bit, just because that is one big thing where even when you're not a single mom, you're trying to breastfeed and you have other children, trying to keep them not getting into trouble while you're breastfeeding, because that's what you feel like you're doing most of the time, especially in the first few weeks and first few months of breastfeeding. The second thing is to set aside time each day where you and the children lie down. Maybe they won't sleep, and that's okay, but you're lying in bed, and this is where the side lying position can really come in. If you're lying down on your side and able to breastfeed, practice that position. Maybe when the baby is about 2 weeks old, start practicing that position and get good at it. Then you can maybe have a family nap kind of thing where the children are able to lay down with you. Again, you might put a movie on, you might put YouTube videos on, something to distract them for quiet time, something that keeps everybody quiet and relaxed, and that kind of gives you some downtime and some time to relax again while you're breastfeeding. So I mentioned those things, and I understand that it's not always easy to do. But when you kind of think ahead, you can kind of prepare ahead. Sometimes when when things are thrown at us all of a sudden, it's hard to think and prepare for something we're not really sure how we're going to handle. Maybe you've never breastfed before because you had so many different situations that kept you from doing it. But now when you look at this opportunity, and again, like you might have older children, you're looking for ways to minimize your stress, because stress, high stress or high cortisol in your body can cause issues with your milk releasing. And it can even cause some milk production issues. But a lot of times milk release needs, you need to be calm and relaxed, and stress can tense you up and make that hard to do. So having a period of time where you have that downtime, that quiet time, that can really help. And also, like I mentioned before, just breastfeeding in a room that you can shut the door and keep all of, your children in the same room with you. And that way you can keep your eye on the, older children while you're breastfeeding. Those can just minimize stress. And so if you're able to kind of think about that ahead, maybe you're still pregnant, and this just kind of gives you some time to think about where you would want to breastfeed, and then to create that space where you can feel comfortable and provide you that downtime or that stress-free environment. So you want to create a space for you, for your baby, and for older children, toddlers, and so forth. And of course, what would be beneficial is a door that locks. Maybe you might have like a little hook lock at the top that children can't reach. And again, this just helps relax you in a sense that you're not having to worry. And again, providing toys, puzzles, coloring books, and then if you can even stash things up slowly, like at Dollar Tree, and then only pull certain things out, so that every time you go in there, after maybe a few weeks, you can be replenishing things with different distractions. So maybe you do some coloring books, and the next time you do some puzzles, and maybe you do some craft things. So just kind of changing it up, and that way they're not getting bored with the same thing. That might help as well. So to just go back and talk a little bit about breastfeeding as a single mom, number one, it is still an option, even if it isn't going to be as easy as maybe you intended or planned. It can still happen because all that baby needs is you, and all you need is some tips and some support. So if you can find that now while you're pregnant, or if you already have the baby, that is a tip that a suggestion I would make, is look for a support group, La Leche League, like I mentioned, or if you have some friends and family, don't be afraid to ask them for help. Get the help that you need, because you're going to need it. And there's nothing wrong with needing someone. There's nothing wrong with reaching out and getting the help that you need, whatever it might be. Whatever makes your life easier, there's nothing wrong with asking for that help. So look for that support. The other thing that's important is finding a way to manage stress. And, I talked about providing a space that is a relaxing space for you. But maybe there's things that you can do to enhance that. Maybe it's going to therapy. Maybe it is counseling, or, a support group in your community or around your community of single moms, single parenting, and also breastfeeding, and finding people that can support you. Surround yourself with people that can support you in your goal to breastfeed. You want the people that surround you, that are going to help you the most, you want them to be supportive and to really be encouraging you as you go on this breastfeeding journey. So one way that you can get the support of like family and friends is by talking about the benefits of breastfeeding. Now, in some cases, like grandparents will be like, okay, well, I didn't breastfeed and you were fine and all the kids were fine. You don't have to go into, well, breastfed babies are better than formula-fed babies. We don't have to go into that area. Just simply talking about some health benefits, such as providing your colostrum, providing the first, immunization in a sense, and that breastfeeding for 3 months provides that protection of anything that any antiviruses that you have in your body will be passed to the baby, and then it helps baby fight off different types of viral sicknesses, and they're able to build their immune system with your immune system. So just kind of doing your research on the benefits of breastfeeding, that it's cheaper because it's free, kind of just going in and finding the little things about breastfeeding that maybe your specific family member or friend would appreciate, and in turn would be more supportive of you, because you're going to want to be surrounded by people that will be supportive. Again, you would then look for support groups of other moms that are breastfeeding and other single moms that are breastfeeding, because I think it's good to have both, honestly, to be around moms who are maybe they have both parents with and have a good support system. But I think it's good to still surround yourself with people in that area of life as well, not just single moms, but being around all moms. And that way you kind of have the support from all different sides, and possibly even build, friendships and possible friends that will be able to help you while you're breastfeeding. So that's something to think about. So it's while you're pregnant that you would want to start thinking about managing stress. Start thinking about, if you're going to be breastfeeding, what types of things are you going to need to do to prepare for that? Are you working? Will you need a breast pump? If so, what kind of breast pump, and breast pump supplies and milk storage supplies. So start thinking about that. You want to start talking to your employer. And I have videos specific for that that discuss working and breastfeeding and preparing for work and the different things that you should think about. So take a look at my videos. If I can remember, I will try to put them in my description just so that you have it. But if not, just look through my, you should be able to search it and find it. But I do have a few videos talking about working and breastfeeding. So you really want to think about that. Breastfeeding takes a lot of time and energy. So I don't want to say that it is easy, that it's stress-free, because it isn't. It's going to have its own form, I don't want to say, breastfeeding itself is not stressful, but when you're tired and the baby's crying and you can't figure out why they're crying, or you're not sure if they're getting enough, or if you have older children and you're having them struggling, it can be stressful. So managing stress, like I mentioned before, is important, but just being aware that it's going to take time and energy, and at first you're not going to get a lot of rest, and that's why it's important to have friends and family who can help you, maybe come in and watch the baby while you take a nap, possibly a preschool in the area that you can send your children to for a couple hours a day, or just a couple times a week, where you can rest and get some extra sleep. And then if that's not possible, trying ways during the day to get the rest you need while the baby's sleeping. A lot of things are easier said than done, but if you have a good support group and you can get some advice from other moms, you might find something that works good for your situation. Again, in those early days, it may seem like you will never have a break, but that time will pass, and it will get better as the baby gets older, and they're able to hold more milk in their belly, and, just kind of being prepared that at first it is tough, but it will get better. And it's important to know that formula-fed babies are not going to eat less or sleep more. They're going to still eat the same amount of time, and they're going to still sleep the same amount of time. So whether or not you breastfeed or you formula feed, you're still going to have to feed anywhere between every 1 to 3 hours. They're still going to wake every 1 to 3 hours. So it doesn't really matter whether you formula feed or you breastfeed, you're still going to have issues with sleeping. It's just going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. If you have older children and they want to help, you can have them help with bath time. They can help with changing diapers if they're a little bit older. Maybe they can help feed the baby if you have pumped milk. You can find ways to have them help with the baby to make them feel more involved, and sometimes that makes you feel a little less stressed, and it helps the children adapt a little bit better. So those are some tips that I hope will be helpful to you. I will try to maybe put a list here at the end, just number some of those tips so that you have something to look at, and I'll put that in the description as well. I hope that this video is helpful. I wanted to do a few videos different. I know that there are a lot of single moms out there, and there are a lot of young moms, teenage moms, and they have their own set of struggles, and so I wanted to be a little more specific for those groups of moms. So I am going to have a video out pretty soon helping with some tips for teenage moms. So be on the lookout for that if you are a young mom and you need some more tips on, especially if you're a teenage mom and you have certain concerns that maybe older mothers don't have. And so if you have any questions for that video that you would like me to answer, please put that in a comment and I will try to include that in my video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I put out a video. You guys have a great day, and I will see you in my next video.